Welcome to Morningstar. Today I'm joined by Ngo Thanh Thao, Deputy Portfolio Manager of the Vietnam Enterprise Investment Trust. Let's dive in. Over 1 year, your investment trust achieved a 0.9% return rate, underperforming its peer benchmark. What do you put this down to?
We have a quite positive return in the first 2 months of 2024, with the NAV increase by more than 3%. However, in our 1 year return, it's still impacted by some lagger in last year, 2023. So as you may consider, 2023 is a tough year, not only for Vietnam, but also in terms of our global economy. So with the Fed rising rate, the geopolitics tension, and also the weakening in the domestic demand is also impact to the business performance of the company in Vietnam. Therefore, some sectors, like especially the retail sectors, have seen a very tough condition last year due to the slowdown in the consumption demand. Our two key holdings in this sector is Mobile World and ENJ has faced the slowdown last year, and the share price was underperformed the benchmark, and this mainly explains the 0.9% underperformance of the funds. However, we do believe that the earnings of these two companies and also the retail sector will rebound in 2024 firstly due to the low base effect from last year, and secondly, it's also driven by the growth in the consumption and also in the increase in the public investment in Vietnam. Currently now, the interest rate in Vietnam is low, even lower than the pre-COVID level. So with the low interest rate environment and also with the strong determination of the Vietnam government to deliver the economic growth this year, we think the retail sector will recover.
You mentioned Mobile World, and it makes up 4.67% of the trust. So why are you still backing the retail chain? I mean, you mentioned that it hasn't done as well. So why are you still bullish on this stock?
So Mobile World is our topic in the retail sectors. It is the best-in-class management and also leading in the retail transformation in Vietnam. So after suffering a difficult year in 2023, as I already explained, the company expects to come back strongly this year. Profit will jump hugely, and of course, it will continue in 2025, and also see a huge jump. The robust business performance is thanks to, firstly, consumer electronic consumption and also mobile phone distribution has already bottoming out and started to recover during the year. And the recovery momentum also repeat on the grocery business, which is the new business of Mobile World. The grocery business of Mobile World now has become number 1 in the modern trade player. And secondly, the grocery chain of Mobile World has achieved the break-even level and start to have profit this year. We expect Mobile World is able to scale up its grocery business. Meanwhile, still manage to improve the profitability. And recently, the pre-IPO of the grocery business has been completed with the valuation of $1.5 billion, which already unlocked a substantial value for our shareholder.
Banking is a very large sector of the investment trust at 38.72%. So why is that?
VB Bank is that our top holding, and recently, for your update, we haven't reduced any share in this bank because we still believe that VB Bank will have a good outlook this year. So in general, for our banking sectors, it is the largest sector in the VAL portfolio, which reflect our belief that the banking sector will benefit most from the economic recovery. The banks and technology are the two sectors have seen the most aggressive growth in the past 10 years. Bank had make up 40% weight in the Vietnam stock market and contribute more than 60% of the earnings on the Vietnam stock market. Therefore, for this year, 2024, we anticipate the improve in the credit growth, also in the net interest margin, and also the improve in the asset quality. This year, we think the earning in the banking sector will increase from 18 to 20%, and also the return on equity stay resilient at 18%. And moreover, the bank valuation is now at a very cheap valuation, especially in the private bank, only 1 to 1.2 times of price to book. And so we think the bank may deserve a re-rate in terms of the valuation this year.
I wanted to get your perspective on how Vietnam may have benefited from trade tensions between the US and China, but have there also been challenges that those tensions have brought?
The tension between US and China caused the supply chain shift out of China, and Vietnam has been benefit from that. Vietnam offer businesses an alternate location for manufacturing, which is in line with the China Plus One strategy that many companies now pursue due to the rising costs in China. The foreign direct investment flow into Vietnam was strong in recent years. Each year, Vietnam received around $20 billion from into the country, and we think this trend will maintain solid in the coming year. Thanks to the strong FDI investment, Vietnam has been moving from being a low-tech manufacturer to high-tech manufacturing. The investment from a big company like Intel, Samsung, Apple, LG show that there is a big potential in the country. And it is safe to say that Vietnam, although it cannot absorb all the China manufacturing, the country is well positioned to take more production and along with other countries in the region to play an important role in the global value chains.
Coffee prices are soaring at the moment, and the main reason is because Vietnam has been hit by drought. I want to get your perspective on how important agriculture is to Vietnam's economy, and also how do you see climate change impacting this sector as food demand will continue to increase?
Agriculture is an important industry in Vietnam with the contribution to GDP of around 11 to 12%. Although the agriculture listed company in the Vietnam stock market is very small, only 0.5 of the Vietnam index, the climate change have a big impact to the agriculture in Vietnam. For example, like the saltwater intrusion, the rising sea level and saltwater intrusion into the coastal area can contaminate the freshwater source and the agricultural land, especially in the Mekong Delta River. And also the drought also increase in both frequency and coverage. And we also see the increase in the extreme weather event like the flood, typhoon, that could impact to the agriculture productivity. As a result, there was a light reduction of the agriculture land area in Vietnam from 2019 until now. The reduction in the agricultural land is around 1.5%. And also there is a drop in the total rice production in the two largest paddy fields in Vietnam, which is the Red River Delta and the Mekong Delta in the south. However, the Vietnam's government has been proactive in preparing the action plans, policy and resolution to aim at the mitigating and adapting to the climate change, with particular emphasis to the two largest delta in Vietnam. For example, in the Mekong Delta, a sustainable development has been applied from 2017, which focus on the climate change adaptation and facility enhancing the regional connectivity, and also to increase the production of the rice field. So thanks to the implementation of the climate change mitigation, the rice productivity in the Mekong Delta and also the Red River Delta has increased by 4%. from 2021 until now.
Finally, I wanted to get your perspective on real estate. So it's the second largest holding at 19.71%, or second largest sector rather. Why is that? And how is Vinhomes allowing you to get exposure to the real estate sector in Vietnam?
Despite a slowdown in the real estate sector in the last 2 years, including the recent debt crisis, the Vietnam real estate sector remains an important sector in the Vietnam economy. An important factor that impacts to the real estate sector is the mortgage rate, where we recently observed that it has been dropped significantly and even below the pre-COVID level. So the mortgage rate in Vietnam now is around 6 to 7%, so even cheaper than a US market. With this reduction in the mortgage rate, we think it could help the financial affordability for home buyer and addressing the real demand for this sector. So as the interest rate are cooling down, we see the transaction volume also experience a slight uptick from the second half of last year and continue in 2024. Both in the big city like Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi, the number of transactions already increased by 50%. So looking ahead toward the year end, we think the real estate market will see an improvement, and therefore we are pre-positioned in the real estate sector for the theme of recovery. And as you mentioned, Vinhome is one of our the big investment in the real estate sector. Vinhome is the biggest real estate developer in Vietnam, and is also one of the best developer with a unique model of providing the ecosystem in residential real estate. Last year, despite the difficulties in the real estate market, Vinhome still can deliver the net earning of $1.3 billion thanks to its strong capability in execution and develop and launch project. This year, we predict that Vinhome could still deliver the same level of profit as last year. And this is also our top 9 holding with 3.4% in the portfolio. And together with all the selected names like Candid House is also our key representative for the sector.
No, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak to me.
Thank you.
This is Christopher Johnson for Morningstar UK.